I would like to say hello to the audience. Eddie Marcus here, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for you, for all people. I'm thinking the way I present the future as it has been given to me, it satisfies a lot of the problems that we see today. In fact, it satisfies most of the problems that we see. However, there are some in particular down in Florida and Texas and North Carolina the past week or so. They've had terrible weather. They've had floods. They've had hurricanes. They've had cities that have been built and they've lived in, some for their entire lives. Some who have gone through some devastation before but rebuilt. And here they find themselves again with the town destroyed, with houses floating around, split up into splinters, cars and stuff floating here and there, businesses destroyed, people losing everything, and consider it lucky just to be alive, that possibly the things that have been lost they can replace. And I'm sure that those of us who have not been living in situations that will permit this to happen to us, the floods, the devastation in life, we've been grateful. We thank all that's deserving for blessing us. And yet and still, we talk about a love that we can say is blessing us, yet causing so much pain for others. And it makes us sometimes want to wonder, what is it? What is it that allowed this to happen like this, in such a way? And yet, we imagine as we may, ask as we may, but the answer still seems to be hiding. But I do know that these cities have in the past rebuilt and probably plan to rebuild now. And while it's a devastation for so many people, at the same time, when you start thinking about rebuilding, sure, it will bring joy and excitement to whomever might be getting some place to live, some shelter. But even more than that would be those who have to put up the money, give out the loans, invest in the suffering that people have to go through. As if that wasn't bad enough, now they got to find some way to repay this debt. Wow. Got to be some stressful stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, these things can happen, they do happen, and they're going to probably continue to happen. The thing of it is, we have not been prepared really to deal with these things. And we've even got some people who decided that if they got the power, they're not going to support everyone, as the generosity clause calls for. They'll just choose and pick. But when we look at it, I'm a long way from the water. You probably are too. Your light bill might be off. Your phone bill might not be paid, and you're going through hell because you need these services. And there are those who have lost everything. You know, the saying goes, since we call ourselves a Christian nation and we love people, that we would do whatever we possibly can to aid, to help these situations. And we do. We have all kinds of programs locally, and we have federal programs. And not only that, we have states that help one another. They donate, they give support in the forms of food, in the forms of water, in the forms of shelter, in the forms of expertise with electricity, with sewage, all these kinds of things they do to help one another. And this is really, really good. It expresses something that should have become just second nature to us, and that is preparing for devastations preparing for situations out of our control before they even occur. We do that, but not to the degree that would give us solace and we can chill. You know what I mean? When you got, I heard this morning on television, some state was raising money, asking people to donate because they were trying to do this and to do that. And I'm thinking about a different way of life. A different way of life that would accommodate these situations to the degree I just mentioned. But the reality of it is, ladies and gentlemen, we're so far from doing anything like that. In fact, the reason we are in the situation that we're in right now is because we failed to see the truth of life. Our history is that we have abused, we have done evil towards one another. And the progress we could have made has been hampered by our ignorance and our stupidity, the things that we have chosen to do, like hate, to be a racist, to be bigots. All of these things are, they are the situations that people all over the globe experience. No, some of them don't experience the same ones, but some of the same ones and perhaps new ones, if you know what I mean. I'm thinking about slavery. I'm thinking about black people. I'm thinking about the history black people never knew. And I'm going to tell you, brainwashing is a thing that works for those who want to brainwash people. It is real. White people have been taught that black people weren't even humans. And white people feel like black people aren't human. Not all of them. Not all of them. It depends upon your connection with that. Determines if you're one of those. But they are there. Trump, mega group, white people, not all of them, but this is the way they've been taught. And it just can't stop. You just can't change. You can make laws and stuff and try to punish people, but that doesn't work. We see it hasn't failed. And so what do you do? What do you do in situations like that? Well, if the laws won't work, then it seems to me if you can find out why people do the things that they do and then solve that, then they don't have an excuse. They don't do that. So when I think about white people and how they did blacks and how effective it had been, one thing that connects me to the depths of it is that not being taught anything really in the school system growing up about the history of the black movement, of black people, of slavery. It's like nothing. And then when you go through that kind of stuff, you're experiencing this kind of stuff, not knowing anything. And me as a black man, the only thing I really knew about my roots, about Africa, something I saw on television. Tarzan, Jungle Jim. They had black folk walking around bones in their nose, in their ears. Harold restaurant, they were walking around sucking crazy. Scared the hell out of black Americans who've never been to Africa and just watching what there's. Now, if they're scaring the hell out of black people who are watching that stuff, what do you think white folks feel when they see that stuff? So we created this stuff. We've created this stuff. And we got it built on the foundation that whether some got a good life or another, it depends upon how we respond to these situations. These nuts, these inhumans, they are the ones. So you can't live because you're dealing with that kind of stuff and you never deal with it. So here we are. But you can resolve that stuff. You know what people want. You know what every human being on the face of the earth wants. They want a satisfied life. They want their needs, their wants, and their desires met. And they want them met when they want them met. They want to live in peace and be prosperous and free. They want to be joyous and happy. And they want to live their dreams. And only one way you can do that in such a way that everybody can do it. And you have to recognize and respect everyone and everything. The resources used to do everything that we have done, going to do, comes from the earth. It comes from the power that put the earth here. Put those resources where they are there. If it's on the earth, in the earth, or above the earth. Some are visible, others are not. But I put them there to do the things that they are being used for and to do the things that they will be used for. to meet the needs of the people, to fill that reservoir of goods and services of that which we the people have determined is absolutely essential for us to have a satisfied life. And since everybody enjoys life and everybody participates in life, which makes life worth living, and that is engage yourself in a job, engage yourself in a career, and choose that. Nobody giving it to you. You choose that which gives you your greatest joy. You were designed to be just that. When you put it all together, you have heaven on earth, and all you doing is living your life. Everybody living their life, and everybody's satisfied with life. Ain't no fussing, ain't no lying, ain't no cheating, ain't no stealing, ain't no guns, ain't no terror, ain't no war. And anytime that stuff is going on, it's because we have denied God. We have denied God, and I'm saying to the whole dead-blasted world, we have denied God and singing songs about God and going to church talking about whatever they got in that book and going to study Sunday school and having school. All this old stuff ain't doing a damn thing for love. It ain't doing a damn thing for love. And we ought to be ashamed of ourselves. But we were taught that. And so what can we do except be that? So this is why it seems like I'm fussing. Because I have been given something to tell you. I'm not smarter than you. But I've been given something. I'm smart enough to know that I ain't God. I'm smart enough to know that there's a power bigger than me. I'm powerful enough to know that's the way you act. I gotta be just like you, but there's something inside of here that ain't like that. And it's telling me to tell you what I'm telling you. Damn, people are suffering, people are hurting, and we're causing it. And people are profiting from it. And we are choosing sides, what side we want to be on with our blind selves. My. There are a lot of people talking about a race war. Donald Trump is trying everything he can to get white people to join with white people, white supremacy. Getting foreign countries to invest in the movement, to propagandize stuff by feeding lies that will scare people and draw people to where you want them to be. But everybody should know that black people are not going back. Know that thing, that 2025 program, you can put that stuff in the trash right now and burn it. Because there ain't no black person, and I'm sure people of color, and any white people that have learned anything about love will leave all that ugliness out there by itself. And it is not going to trample anything. Because our effort is to live each day, all of us, not at the expense of others, but because we've engaged with each other. Golly. No courts. I mean, everything's stacked up with evil. The courts, everything that makes the laws, the people that you put in Congress, supposed to be, it's all, you know what I mean? It's just ungodly. Well, all I can say is, we get rid of poverty by treating each other right. And we can have that peace and prosperity and freedom. Eliminate that evil and that suffering and that pain that comes with it. And we should know that the future is only going to be bright when it works for everybody. And I mean everybody. I'm not talking about when it works with blacks. That ain't everybody. It means everybody. Everybody. And when it does that, then we cool. We got it. We got it together. Woo! Now it got kind of strange in here. Ladies and gentlemen, I can talk a little bit longer. I had got to the point that I wanted to say that if there end up being a war, a race war because of hate, and it's driven to that point, I just want everybody to know that black people and people of color are not going to sit there and watch this stuff. They're not going to sit back and let you do like you did in the past. We have discovered one thing, that all of us like life. We really do. But we also know that the United States do not run and attack other countries that's just as powerful as they are. We do know that bullies like Trump would take advantage of anybody that would allow him. And the people of this country who are like that will take advantage of anybody who will allow them. These black people are not going to take it. People of color are not going to take it. And we will put before you the same threat. And what I mean before, I'm talking about evil. Evil. I mentioned black and white because it seems to be carrying each of us. But I'm talking about evil. It would be as devastating for one as it is for the other. Nobody wants the flood to come. But at least the flood sometimes seems to be out of your hand. But if you're trying to start some stuff, that's not nature. That's you. And it will be just as devastating for one as it is the other. You know, and I'm not going to really tell you how to do it. It's the simplest. The simplest. All right, until next time. I guess what I'm saying is that if war ever broke out, like a civil war in the United States, then it would be a statement that the people are saying that human beings within these borders have forfeited their right to continue to exist. And destruction is what they have ordered. Because whites will do everything they can to take out blacks, and blacks will do everything they can to take out whites. And that includes property. And you haven't seen any destruction in America like that destruction in other places. Nah. But that they would have brought on themselves. So what I'm basically saying too, all people everywhere, you tell everybody, we shall live together happily, in peace. Or then, while we're living. I think God would ask you that. If the way for all of the wonderful things have been set for you, and you choose to resist them all, then why continue to live? You weren't made to live like this. Yes, you were given choice, but you weren't made to live like this. You were made to live heavenly, wonderfully, joyously, peacefully, and living your dreams. Every last one of human beings on the face of the earth. And it is the responsibility of humankind to set it up. It is the responsibility, it is the duty, and everywhere where people are, it should be the goal to make sure that they master this. Master it. A simple thing. A simple thing. Master it. Goodbye.